How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Sean Howard channel. I'm Ron Swanson, and we're here with Darius Wright once again to delve into, not a big topic, just, the mysteries of the entire cosmos. It's not a big deal. But Darius, how you doing? How you been since the last time we spoke? And introduce yourself for anyone who may not know who you are.
Yeah, I've been doing good. My name is Darius. I basically teach people how to awaken their dormant abilities, pretty much, and accessing home.
Yeah.
That's it. Remembering where we came from.
Yeah.
And I do remember that. I have that memory of where I came from before I was born into this place, and helping people remember that is the ultimate key and the mission that they call the great work. So that's what I'm doing.
Hell yeah. And all Darius's links are in the description. If you want to find out more, you can use them. And listen, before we delve into this, I need to circle back to episode 1 for just a second, right? Because that interview, it was at a weird time. Darius and I were just touching on this beforehand, right? Like, I'd sort of stepped away from my journey for a while, right? I was focusing on the husk, the part that you go to a doctor or a therapist about. That part of the journey needed some adjustment. And I'd shut myself off. And you and I had our initial interview. And it sort of started a very bizarre set of dominoes that were started to follow Darius. And I find it very interesting that a lot of the things that you were talking about, the universe, free will, love, our understanding of the true essence of where we come from and where we go to, it began resonating in a way that it really hadn't done before. And it was this draw. The one thing that I'm drawn to, Darius, from it was the understanding of how important love, free will, and how the universe is got a beating heart, right? And is this essence of, I mean, let's just, for layman's terms, because of my simpleton mind on this, living thing, right? You know what I'm saying? But for those of you at home, I don't mean like a gelatinous blob that we're all stuck inside. Like it's a little bit more to it than that. And everything pulled me to having this understanding of love and free will, and how that is then how the universal contract that we're all bound to, how the evildoers are superseding and using it all against us, is really the epiphany that I'm having. And can you talk a little bit about love, our free will, and the living organism of everything, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, love is the ultimate force. So based off what I was saying last time in our last conversation, is that many people think that love is not the ultimate force of all things. And they would easily mistake that the anger that they feel is, and they think that that's more powerful. But I always use this concept. If you ever did combat sports, anybody did combat sports, which you'll have a lot of them within this community that has, you'll realize that your anger for that opponent helps you beat them. Yeah, it does. But then put your child or someone that you love the most in the corner of that ring, and your opponent is basically says this to you, that if you do not defeat me, then I will kill the person that you love that's behind me. Then your love for that person will surpass any anger that you've ever had to defeat the opponent, because love is more sharper or more powerful than hatred ever will be. And you see, they've used the hatred, they use the suffering, because hatred and suffering is all ties together. They put you in that space to hate them. With you hating them, you actually weaken yourself to them. You weaken themselves to the same frequency that they use against you, the same frequency that they literally feel about you, meaning they hate you, they want to kill you, they want to vaccinate you, they want to chop up your children, put them in the meat supply. The list goes on, and you can finish the rest, because a lot of people already know. Now, when you step into love in the rawest form, unconditional love as well, while at the same time you use that in courage for protection, then you literally have the sharpest tool the sharpest sword, the sharpest weapon that basically you could ever hold within this creation that you're in. It is the sharpest tool. And so when you step into that towards those people and also for protection of those that you love the most, you'll find that is the only thing that wins this. And, even the fact of winning, you see, the moment you step into, I'm going to fight, well, then you've already lost it as well. You see, because within the fight, there's a loser. So you even stepping out of the chess game of playing the game, and
Mhm.
you begin to realize that you are the very source that even makes the chess game even possible. You see?
This is very much there is no spoon, right? You know, that moment in the
Yeah.
Matrix. This is so because I've been trying to make that exact reference, what you've just said there, for about the last 2 weeks, and I've been using that there is no spoon as my analogy, right? Because you're not bending the spoon, you are the force bending around the spoon, effectively, right?
Mhm.
You are the everything. I'm trying really hard to not sound like a moron, Darius, with the way that
Yeah.
I explain this, right? But
Well,
can you
yes.
just continue on with what you were saying? I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah. Well, you are the everything. That is it. So you see, we get caught up in thought forms and emotions and things like that, and we think that thought is us, but we don't realize that we are the things that make the thought itself. And so then what is the being, what is the source that even makes that possible? And you'll find that we are outside of all prisms of light. You see, people say that we come from the light, but we actually don't. We don't come from the light, we come from dark, and from the darkness we birth light into creation. We birth all thought prisms of light into creation itself from the void. So when you realize that every single chess piece, the board and the games, that then we think that we are defined by, when you go back to love, you realize that unconditional love is undefinable. You see, that state of frequency is undefinable and it gives birth to everything. So what made the spoon even possible? The spoon was made possible because a soul thought that into existence, therefore creating that prism of light, that prism of frequency into existence itself. And you see, even a prism of light, a thought form, is of a prison. Think of the words prism. So a thought is of a prison if you get stuck into it. Because what you're doing when you think of something, you are automatically condensing light into a certain frequency, a certain emotion, and that is stuck in a box or whatever you're placing it in. And therefore, it is, you could say that is a prison itself. And this is where people get stuck into their emotions. They get stuck into hatred. They get stuck into this, not realizing that they are actually in the prison of their own thoughts, thinking that they can't escape it, but they're even beyond that. And then this is where you even get people as well. They'll say, well, I'm afraid to step into that state because I'll lose myself. I'll lose
And
myself a personality or whatever.
is
Yeah,
that
good.
is that the human condition, or is that human conditioning that we're seeing play out in our minds? Are we pre-built this way, or is this a reprogramming of our minds that have made us? I don't. I think I may have lost my point there, Darius.
No. I get what you're saying. It was pre-programmed.
Yeah, yeah.
So programmed during the course of our life.
Okay.
That's what happened because when you are born as a child, you don't have any of these belief systems of structure in that way
Mhm.
because you're fresh from the other side, so you know that anything's possible. And then your parents, it is your parents that instill the first lie in you. They lie about something, whether if that's a holiday or this or that. And they put the first lie into you, which then um, you could say temporarily makes you disconnect from the natural state, which is you already know all things and you access all things when you become pure. So that purity is love. That purity is unfiltered love and no restrictions. And a child already has this. And this is why they're able to see things
Mm.
or communicate with beings. But as they get older, they're programmed through the systems of fear, the systems of propaganda, the governmental systems, educational systems, healthcare systems, to then constantly suppress and make you, this is the way you do things here. And when that happens, you then disconnect yourself from the purity state, which then disconnects you from source itself, your source, which is not a disconnection 100%, but you lose that it's an effortless flow of remembering. And this is why even I teach people how to come out of body. But you do not need to come out of body to remember this, because it's already within every single person. Once you stop lying, when you stop being dishonest to yourself, and you become pure, because we were all fashioned in the you could say imprinting ourselves into this. We were all fashioned in purity. Every single soul is fashioned in purity, and we are from the very divine. And that purity comes from, not, like I said, not lying and being truthful. And when you're there, you step into the undefinable, which is, in a sense, stepping back into that frequency, the resonance of love. Because all this is about resonance. All of it is about resonance. So when you are in a state of resonance of the opposite of where you come from, well, then you turn into death itself within your spirit, within your soul, and within the physical body. And then the physical body will start to manifest illness within yourself, possession, etc., demons. The list goes on. And when that takes place, you think that this is a powerful state, but you've been manipulated and deceived to believe that. And you think that you have power and you're wielding power of some sort, but you're not. You're actually wielding death, causing death on yourself. And when the physical body has an illness, it's just a manifestation of all that hatred and all that fear, all that anxiety, stress. But when you step back into love, you literally walk with the other side, you walk with the divine, and you become life itself within your spirit, your soul, and the physical body. And this is even proven as well. Once you step into that frequency, that resonance of love, your cells start to react differently. They start to, your genetic makeup starts to change. You start to do the opposite of death itself, and your cells start to express themselves in the divine way. And this is why you hear, even in some scripture texts, that once you become pure, you'll never taste death. And that's true in a lot of ways, because the soul is even, the soul even has authority over the physical form, but it's not pretending.
No.
You see?
And just to back up what you're saying, right, with some science for the science people, right? The experiment that was done with the water, right, where they put different words on the outside of the distilled water, and then they looked at under, I think it was a black lens microscope, I don't know the science, but you can see a very different reaction to water depending on it, whether it's a loving or whether it's a hateful intention. And when we're told that what we're 80-90% water, it really puts it into perspective when you meet someone like Darius and you need a visual or you need a bit of science to go with how intention and feeling can really make a difference, not just to you, but your surroundings. And I think this is a great way of doing it. I think this is one that people do with jars of rice as well, Darius. But
yeah.
Understanding that, I think a lot of people misconstrue when we talk about love, that we're talking about, well, you know, if I don't have a wife and I'm alone, how can I be part of the love gang, right? But it's beyond that. It's the understanding of the giving, the receiving of love. It's finding love in, and this is going to sound corny, but nature, sunsets, the world, right? It's feeling that connection. And I think that is what some people miss, right? Is because we don't really get taught the multi-layers of love in our lifetime, right? We get taught what it is. Oh, you meet someone, you fall in love. And that's really where the story ends for a lot of people, right? So
Mm.
understanding the vastness of this has been a journey for me. Big shout out Danny Henderson, okay, because she she was one of the ones that really she would never give up on me helping me understand this. And when I finally got it, Darius, everything fell
Mm.
into place and it made sense. But you
Mm.
said something very interesting tonight, and wouldn't you know it, we're on our first jigsaw piece of puzzle of the interview, Darius. Right. So
Mhm.
my biggest worry was always, I feel like in the grand scheme of the cosmos, my involvement is very much going to be dealing with the evil, getting the hands dirty, doing the things that sometimes are necessary to when there's a war, so to say.
Mhm.
And I've
Mhm.
always been very worried about how you can have love in your heart, but it was then if you're then doing something out of spite or hate and not doing it out of love, is there a
Mhm.
difference, right? And defending your family, your people, your planet, your energy, that is that would be, and I'm trying not to use the word fight. I'm really trying because I heard you earlier, right? But
Mhm.
the confrontations that may come in the future, whether it's dealing with demonic forces, whether it's dealing with, and I'll tell you something else. That's another conversation in our time. Actually, I'm ADHD in here. But the importance of confronting these things with love in your heart, right?
Mm.
That is the essential key from confronting the the baddies of the universe, right? Am I right in that mindset?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, 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 yes.
I'm
Let
sorry to
me
use the word baddies, bro. This is the only interview you'll ever do where they're referred to as the baddies. Okay. Okay. But I'm just to help me here, right? You see, like, yeah, I'm trying so hard and I'm
Okay.
an idiot, right? So please, yeah,
Alright,
carry on. Please carry on.
alright. The the first point, I'll go into the fighting thing, but the
Okay.
first point you made is I don't have. So a lot of people say I don't have a wife, what you said. So listen to the words that when people say that, I don't have, you already have everything.
Yeah.
So the pursuit of looking for at any form outside of yourself, you always tell yourself, I need something outside of myself to have that which is already within me, because that love doesn't need a partner. It doesn't need a wife. It doesn't need this or that, because it's not
Yep.
something that you need to have in that way. I don't know how else to explain it other than that. Like, you cannot, the moment you try to grab it,
Mhm.
think of
Oh,
it
no, I
like
get it.
water.
I'm
Yeah,
fully with you here because
yeah.
you see, what was interesting is I was trying to understand the opposite of evil, right? Which is to me is love. Because let's say the most evil person in the world, you're the most loving person in the world, and we both stand still and do nothing and say nothing for our whole existence. Our evil and love doesn't manifest to affect the world in a traditional how we assess a situation point of view. Okay, we can go into
Mm.
the underlying how screwed that evil
Energetic.
person is,
Yeah, yeah,
right? We
yeah,
can
yeah,
go into
yeah,
that
yeah,
later, right?
yeah,
But it's the acting upon it, right? It's the manifestation of the act.
yep.
And I don't know why I'm telling you this. I just wanted to say that and have you confirm it. I'm going through and I'm sorry, side chat. This is another one of these weird interviews where they're meant to happen because there's information and there's things that need to be checked off. So Darius, please go back to
Yeah.
explaining. I'm going to be quiet now.
Yeah, yeah, cool. But yeah, it's even the having, like, I don't have it. Well, think even further where that comes from. The people that control you are controlling you because they feel they don't have something, and they pursue it within you. So they pursue to control you. So I need to have them underneath control. So the pursuit of trying to have something in that way, you still are operating in the same frequency of the very they themselves, because you don't realize that you are every single thing that you ever desire, and everything that you could ever make is already within your very essence of your soul, your being, from where you come from. Because even when you cross over, there's no desire to have, because why would there be a desire to have when you already have everything? when a thought is almost instantly it is instantly manifested in front of you with your will and your spoken word. It's bam there. You are the all having of all things. Now, even when you go into the fighting and the basically love and hatred, how do you fight in the presence of that? You know, and this is where you'll see that this could get confusing because, all right,
Oh, this is the
when you're
part
on
that
the
doesn't confuse me. How you're talking
yeah,
now is the part that doesn't confuse me. Like I am
yeah,
fully on board, bro.
okay.
100%.
But when you're on the other side, yeah, you you cannot harm another soul. Like there's none of that physical, like the soul doesn't have that. Like you can't go to another soul and like slit their throat, for instance. Like it just you cannot kill the infinite itself, but only through this physical body we have experienced, you could say, sin. And even though it's not sin in the way that they say it, but I'm just using the word because I know the community that I'm on to help them understand a bigger understanding. So you could say in the physical body, when you come here, yeah, you could experience sin because the body can be harmed, the soul can't. So you could go to another person and harm them. So then this becomes the mental thing within people. Well, wait a second. What you're saying contradicts because how could love be the all-powerful force? And you're saying that nothing could touch love. And then how do I act on that love without acting in hatred? And you can see where this starts to happen. Now, because this is based off where we are, the way that you act in the highest form of love here is courage, because we have the physical form. This courage also protects even in the face of evil. I want you to think about certain names. I'm going to bring up certain names, even though they may not be real. Some of them may be, but some of them may not. Archangel Michael, you have Satan, Jehovah, you have Jesus, Yeshua, you have Amun, Amune, Anush, etc. So some of these names would be perceived as good or evil. So let's just say Archangel Michael, one of them, or Jesus, one of them. And he's in the face of Satan, Jehovah, or whatever itself, in the ones that are causing harm. Now, when you look at Archangel, how he's fashioned in purity, how they depict him to be, he's fashioned in the armor of God, fashioned in the armor of love. But he could still protect innocent people when evil things try to attack the physical form where there can be harm physically done here. That is still an act of love of protection. Protecting people is an act of love. This is why justice, you could say, is important here. But there's no greater justice that you could give. Put it this way: when you try to do justice here, and you think that you're hitting that the full justice of it, it's not even close, because the full justice comes when that soul sees itself in the divinity of love and judges itself, not you judging it, and because there's no unconditional love with a judgment. But when that soul has done the wrongdoings and it's facing, the soul's doing the wrongdoing, facing itself in the face of that love, it sees itself again. And it places the judgment on itself, and the unforgivable sin is a sin you can't forgive yourself for. So the love here is protection. It's not necessarily sitting down and doing nothing, as what some communities will want you to do. Now,
I get it.
yeah. Now,
Did you know this is the cosmic version of swing at me, bro? Right? In order for me to protect and to act in courage, there has to be, you have to swing first, Darius, right? The evil has to have swung for me to protect and step in, right? Or mid swing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, which is really funny, because as soon as you said I'm going to name some names here, I was going to like, please say the Jedi. Please be like, you know how the Jedi will not attack first and it's all defensive stuff, and then you hit me with the religious stuff, and I was like, all right, okay, fair enough. I'll save the Jedi for later.
No, that's a good concept too.
I know, right? So, but so it's very much the universal swing at me, bro, first at mindset. So I get that. That's locked in. Carry on. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, then a lot of people will say, well, Darius, I cannot. And don't think that I didn't struggle with this myself, because I'm always on the pursuit for truth, even if it makes me uncomfortable. So then I thought to myself, even with seeing the other side itself and asking questions within myself, well, then how do I still act in that presence when someone's face to face with somebody that is actually going to harm them? How do I not hate them? And I started to realize this. It's like the concept that I always give. It's like a child. So you have a child, son, daughter. Let's just go daughter. And that daughter is causing pain to other people. Now you can protect the person that she's causing harm to, but you still love your daughter.
Of course.
So you have to view everybody, which everybody is, a child of somebody. And if you could understand that everybody's a child from somebody and that mother still loves that person, then if you could step into that state and view them that way, then you could still protect the people being harmed, but also understand where they're coming from, which is just a child in pain. And really what they're saying deep down inside when they're coming after you is they're saying, help me, I'm in pain. Because you would never, that would never self manifest within yourself unless you were not in pain. You would never try to cause harm to another person if you weren't pain yourself. You take a lemon, you squeeze it, the only thing that's going to come out is the lemon juice, because that's what's inside of it. Now you take a rotten orange, you squeeze it, the thing that's going to come out is rotten and a rotten smell, because that's what's inside of it. So the very act of trying to harm something is your pain within yourself, your already death within yourself. And when you could realize that, and you understand that love is the cure for that, and also helps them back to the divinity.
Yeah.
You get, and that's the higher level of understanding with it, and how you go at it.
Because I learned a long time ago that hate's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy, right? So you don't have to. I understand the concept of not having to hate something in order for it to be an opponent for that matter, right? Mm-hmm. But it's very interesting that it comes down to stepping in front and defending, as opposed to going forth and attacking, if that makes sense, right? Because that balance was something I've always wondered, because if they've already swung first, because I'm about to step into a whole new world, Darius, that I'll go over it a couple of minutes after the show with you. There's an interview on Danny Henderson's channel coming out all about me in the next couple of days. Go and check it out over on Danny's channel. But understanding that once a dark force has attached itself to a child or a person, right, that's them already swung, right? So by stepping in to clear the person or shoo off the nasties, shall we say, that is being done out of love to protect children, innocence. Would that fall into that universal safety loop of a loving act?
Well, yeah. If a child's being harmed, and someone's trying to, let's just say manipulation itself, you could say that's an emotional thing, which then turns into a negative spirit within that child, which then you could say is the possession of that child too, if it allows it to be so. So yes, that's a swing.
Okay,
and you can protect in that way. But it's like I said, it's the feeling, because you could sit there, and I'm just saying this based off of what I have seen for myself.
Sure.
When I've done certain things, I know the feeling that happens from that. If you do not, if you pretend, if you say, "Oh, I'm doing this in an act of love," but you're pretending, it's totally, you're gonna see it for yourself. Yeah. Like that's the thing that you judge yourself.
Well, I have zero doubts or worries about my love, intent, or my will, my beliefs. That is solid. This is very much like the final checklist before the castle doorways open up. And
Yeah.
I feel like people like yourself and other incredible individuals are almost the ones that are going through this checklist with me at the moment, but I don't know what's on the checklist, and you don't know why you're here to read the checklist, but when we see it, we go, oh yeah, this all makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's sort of brought a lot of things together.
Yeah. And
Darius.
it's you could say hmm. See, if you're a fighter, like if you're combat sports, a lot of people are going to be asked to put on their gloves in a loving way.
Mm.
You see, if you or a lot of people are being asked to put back on that armor just due to the amount of manipulation that a lot of people have been put underneath of just going, okay, the act of love is doing nothing, and there you go. And you could say that that is an act of love too. Sacrifice is an act of love. It
Yeah.
is in a way, but you see, this has already happened in the past. But that whole thing of standing back and doing nothing. But right now, when you have a group of people that stand in the unity, that resonance frequency, and moving forward, I promise you, nothing could stop that force. But when you step into hatred, then they could stop that.
Mhm.
They could
Oh
stop
yeah,
that force. Yeah,
fully.
100%.
Yeah. I just want to say as well, there's so many things that I fully get that you're saying that there's no way in this world I could ever explain back to another human being, but I fully understand, like inside my soul,
Mhm.
exactly what you're saying. And let's talk about frequency and how we're all connected. Let's talk about how we're met. In my head, it's like liquid, right? And we're all connected on this frequency, and we're all shut off, Darius, right? What can people do, right, to try and combat that? If they wanted to try and topple the first domino for themselves, is there advice that you would give to someone who is really at the start of their entire awakening, right? Is there something that you've learned over your years that is a key piece of advice that you could give to those individuals?
I did say this before on other platforms, but I'll say it again too because it's
Okay.
important. And a lot of people may say, I could probably sense the energy. Darius, you're just repeating yourself. Why you say all the same things? And I state this to these people.
Okay.
I'm going to say this.
Such a weird concept. Why would you be repeating yourself? Well, I mean, it's a new crowd, bro. Okay, I don't know if you know how like information spreads, but it's through repetition, bro. Okay.
Yeah, well, 100%. But it's this, man. It's this.
Okay.
Because a lot of people say, "Oh, you repeat the same things," and I say, "Yeah, because truth is not forever changing." So once you figure out truth, then you're gonna say the same things. It's
Same
like
thing.
figuring out how the body is. The body has
Yeah.
two arms and two legs, and
Yeah.
you have organs within the body. When you map those out, that's not going to change every 5 minutes just because people want new content because they're
Right.
fixated on not truth, fixated on the next thing, the next distraction. Let me just go here, go here, go here. Say something new that contradicts this and that.
Mhm.
When you figure out truth, it's forever solid. It's a foundation. And if what
I
you're
get that.
looking for is constantly changing, then ask yourself the question, are you really desiring to
Oh
have
shit.
truth?
Darius. Right. I've been having this mad crisis of feeling like all I'm doing is repeating myself when I come to talk about my journey and all of this. And it's like my soul is saying, don't worry about it. Keep talking about it. But the husk is going, bro, you've said this like 50 times. Did you see what I'm saying? And I'm like, one of you voices is right. One of you voices is right. And I couldn't quite nail it, but that's exactly what it is because the truth doesn't shift. If you're on a journey and you learn new things, that is part of a journey, but the truth never alters. Okay. It's not like woodworking where you get better at something and over time, Darius is going to craft a more refined goblet. The goblet's the goblet, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? He's coming with the same goblet each time. Honestly, my analogies. But it makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah.
And I think staying authenticity is something that I think people see more than ever these days. So
It's very easy to see people that are just
that's
not
why.
authentic.
Why do you keep saying the
It's
same things over again? Like I would have loved to have watched your brain like try and compute that sentence when they said that to you. Well, what do you mean?
Oh no. Listen. I'll say something
What do you
different.
mean?
We have over 1,000 quadrillion different heavens within this construct. There you go. That's new information. But is it true? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But anyway, so to go back to the point, well, what you were saying
Sure,
is
please.
is how does someone do it? Is they do it in this way, and actually try this, like to maybe 2 minutes, maybe a little bit awkward, but imagine, like really imagine this. It's gonna sound like I'm putting you through a meditation. Close your eyes and do a
Okay,
kumbaya.
I'm gonna full screen you. I'm gonna full screen you. I'm gonna go full Darius experience, right? Okay, I'm ready.
But like really close your eyes when you do this, man, because it has to come from a place of genuine honesty. And if you are back at the source of all things, like everything that you ever desire to know, and you are in the face of that, the beginning of all things. And when you were there, every single thing that you could possibly know was presented to you. And that being and that source, God itself, was coming to you. And he said to you in that state, he said, nothing matters, nothing that you will ever do, have ever done, will ever think of, or ever pursue matters. None of it matters. You still loved all the same. When you're told that nothing matters, not a damn thing, you really need to think of this. What would be your first thought in that state? What would be the first thought and the first action of what you would want to do? What would you feel? This is where you have to really think about that, feel into it, not just an instant response. But let's just pretend. Let's role play.
Okay.
I'm God itself, the infinite source. And you're like, I hold all information. Here I am. And then you say, well, what is this? What is that? And I say exactly these words to you as what it will be presented to you. Nothing matters. No thought, no action, none of it ever matters. You loved unconditionally, no matter what you do, what you think, what you say. What do you do now? You see, and some people may go into, in that state, they may go into, well, then I don't care.
No,
Well,
I felt like I intensely wanted to voice that I felt the existence of love. I felt light. I seen that it was a warm light. That's what I felt, and I don't know if that's got anything to do with this. I'm just chirping in.
yeah,
That was a weird moment for me right there. I'm not gonna lie.
no, but what would be, like, Ron, what would be like if we were to be totally honest? Like I'll tell you mine when I step into that state too. But what would be your first thought? Like if you were able, one that was spoken to you, you were able to do whatever it is that you wanted to do, no matter what, good or evil. What would you want to do?
Prove him wrong. I want to prove him wrong. I want to prove you wrong, metaphorical God Darius. That's what I want to do. I want to prove you wrong that it did matter, and I want to prove you wrong that, yeah, it did matter. That's what I would feel. Metaphorical God Darius. That's because we're still role playing here, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's what I felt. I felt like no, it does matter, but
it does. Yeah.
yeah.
But okay.
I mean, it probably doesn't. But I mean, that was my initial. I'll shop now. Sorry, carry on.
Well, it does all matter. It does all matter, and you're right about that. But it's again, role playing this.
Yep.
If you could be honest, not putting any filters, and people that are listening to this,
Yep.
listen, you could be honest because no one's going to hear your thoughts.
Mhm.
No one's going to hear you. But your first thought and the first thing that you would want to do is you remembering that's your authentic self. That is who you are at the core of you.
That was the light. That was the light that I seen there then.
Mhm.
That's what that
Yeah.
was. That was
So so you then saying, I'm going to prove you wrong. That's you remembering who you are, your authentic self. What you could say is a warrior. Because that's only something that someone would say if they are a warrior of light itself.
do you know,
In that way. But once you say that, once you are honest and you say that, you remember your authentic self. And when you remember your authentic self and you are honest with yourself in that way, you the highest version of love, or one of the forms of the highest version of love, is authenticity, not lying to yourself
Mhm.
and being honest with yourself. And then you step into that resonance of frequency. Now, if you are unhappy, this is the double-edged sword. If you are unhappy after when I said that it does matter what you do, if you are unhappy with your decision of what you would have done in that moment, then that is the unforgivable sin that I talked about, because you are the only one that you could never escape through all of creation. And if you are unhappy with yourself, you will be hell within yourself.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a worry. I wasn't concerned about that. I was
Yeah.
like, "What do you mean it doesn't matter?" Like, like, that was my feeling, and
Yeah.
when you were talking, right,
Mhm.
I closed my eyes, I done what I was told,
Yeah.
and you know when you're trying to keep your eyelids closed sometimes, they start going into a bit of a spasm, right, and you get these light leaks coming through. It was like that without any movement, and then this weird, as if I'm looking up through water, right? And you're standing there with a torch, and the big cone of light is coming through this weird darkness, right? That's what I started seeing as you were talking. I can't remember what you were saying. It was very like I was just being led by the sound, really wild,
Yeah.
interesting, very
Yeah.
interesting.
I mean that's something that I'll really meditate on for a lot of people. And then how do you actually, I mean, that's a thing that you could just mentally do. But
We see
then
that's
how do you
called
actually see it?
mm,
Like how do you see the other side is leave your body. Like it's not through psychedelics or drugs. You see, the thing is everything holds a certain resonance of frequency. Everything that we touch from this pen holds a certain resonance of frequency. From mushrooms hold a certain resonance of frequency. You'll find when people take mushrooms, they all see the same thing, different from near-death experiences or out-of-body experiences, because they're tapping into the spirit of the mushroom, accessing the dimension of that resonance of frequency within there. And this is why when you take things, you're not actually seeing the full truth at all, even though you think you are, but you're not, because you're tapping into that vibrational frequency of what that plan is. So
I'm with you. By the
yeah,
way,
yeah,
when as soon as you said "spirit of the mushroom," that threw me off completely. That was one of the coolest thing you've said on any of the interviews. The spirit of the mushroom, right? If you were Darius is down with the spirit of the mushroom, we're all down with the spirit of the mushroom. But it's true, right? Because I totally get that too.
mhm,
There's
mhm.
been some shamanistic moments, shall we say, in my lifespan, and bro, I'm not gonna lie. There's profound things going on in my brain right now. Okay. And I've sort of maybe derailed our original conversation. I can't remember. I'm in a state of constant download right now. So
No,
we
it's
were
good.
talking,
It's good.
we were talking about what people could do, right? There we go. See, thank you. We're talking about what people could do, right? And then you took us through that small guided moment there, and then my brain reset. So you might need to help me here. So what are we talking about next, Darius? Because my brain has just
No,
completely
all good. All
fragmented,
good,
bro.
all good. All good, all
Uh,
good. The
yeah.
the 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 the, the, se- the second thing, the second thing someone could do is is learning the out of body state, and
Okay.
not it's not remote viewing, it's not astral projection, it's none of these things, but learn the out of body state. Take yourself through the near death experience, because that's essentially what it is, where you fully 100% separate your soul from the physical form. Now you could listen to what I'm saying, you could do those exercises. Yes, it'll give you access to truth, because it's already within every single one of us once we do those things, what I already discussed. But when you see it for yourself, then there's no denying that belief. Right now, a lot of people need belief. They need belief in something, and then that belief eventually turns into knowing when they see miracle or something profound being done. And this is also why I don't necessarily like to work with people anymore, um, or or help in the way that I help people that already believe something. Because once you're trying to help an individual that is not in some form of trying to open up the door already, even when you knock, they may open it up, say, "Get the hell out," and they'll shut the door on you. You see? And it becomes this endless battle. They have to be at the door already, wanting it to open or wanting to invite you in. And those are the people that I help the most, because the belief is already there. And when the belief is there, they don't realize it, but they may believe in what I'm saying to be true. And they're like, oh my God, it's you helped me so much. No, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. I just simply reminded you, and you did everything for yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
You,
That's
you
exactly.
did it all. You did it all on yourself.
Hmm.
No, no, I had nothing to do with it besides I just rang the bell, and you heard the bell. And then that
Do you
you
know?
started to remember everything.
Do you know what it is? It's even deeper than that. Is you are the catalyst for belief in the journey, right? You are the physical embodiment of the belief, right? Because that's why people have come to you. It's an interesting one, right? But here's the thing. Hang on a second. Hang on a second.
Mm.
Oh, my point is gone again. It will come back to me in a minute. Oh no, I remember it now. So, for what would you say to people? Because personally, I've got this hyperactive mind. So I struggle with traditional things like meditation or trying to astral project in certain ways, right?
Yeah.
But I don't feel it's necessary because I'm already everywhere. Does
Mhm.
that make sense? Like, I feel when I did what I did a couple of weeks ago to help this little boy, like this incredible change happened in this family's life. You know, it was massive, and it felt like nothingness to me. It felt like it wasn't even an even fight, Darius. I felt like I was pummeling a cheeseburger with my fist, and that's what I was up against, right? And I didn't feel like I needed to project to there because I my understanding of how we all connect, right, is
Yeah.
frequency, and we're already one. So I'm
Yeah.
already there. Do you see what I'm
Yep.
saying? And I know someone in the side chat's going to be like, "What is Ron talking about?" That is as well as I compute it. You've got to understand how limited my vocabulary is. So I'm trying to
No, no,
explain it.
all good. I mean, like I said, you don't need to come out of the body, because like I said before, it's already
Mhm.
within you. But the out of body will give you access to physical heavens, and being able to see outside of just this place. Now, that's the knowing part. But again, you already come from the other side. And what
Mhm.
people are missing is the remembrance of that. And so if you already know that, do you need to come out of the body? No, not unless you're trying to access something or
Mhm.
remember something or see something or get access to things. But you could even still get access because it's still within yourself. But it's a different way. There's many ways to do this. But the out of body is the train to get there, the bullet train to get there for a lot of people, because they go, when they step out, they're like, wait a second, this is not me, who I am, that the soul is who I am. And then that flips the brain into it flips your thinking into, all of a sudden, well, wait a second. If I can if I could do this in my soul, if I remember who I am and I could do this in my soul, and it's physical. What is stopping the physical body from doing all of those things, the impossible things, like levitation itself, telekinesis, telepathic communication? What's stopping the physical body from doing that? And it breaks down, has done for me anyways, breaks down those barriers. And you see, even telekinesis. So putting that in your hand, levitating that up, or making it spin. Okay. Simple things in making the spin is based off a resonance of frequency.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people could do it very easily. I could do it very easily right now. I could put this on a paper clip, stick it in there, maybe rip off a couple of papers. Okay. Shut off. I have something going there. And then just getting in tune with the energetic field, the resonance of frequency, this will start to slowly turn slightly. You'll see it shift. And people have done this with tinfoil or what have you. But it allows you to break down all of the impossibilities at some point. You know,
I'm right there.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And so when you remember that and you remember love, then you start to do all things here in that way, including what you just said. Just doing those things that you're already there within yourself, and so that you pursue to just do it. And if that's where you're at, then just keep on pursuing to do it, because it's essentially.
Yeah. Do you know what's really fascinating about so many people is our willingness to disbelieve in ourselves, right? Is we're so quick to assume there's not enough good to go around. We don't deserve anything. And we present this iceberg of ourselves, right? Where we project this 10% of confidence, and underneath everyone's just 90% of a mess, right? That nobody gets to see. And
could I ask you this though?
Yeah.
So this is where the honesty comes into play too. All right. You already know that you're within yourself.
Oh, I'm not talking about me, bro. Just so you know, I wasn't. Yeah. That was. I mean, I'm one of the most open and.
No.
I say too much.
It's good. It's good. But if you would, if I told you that tonight that you could leave your body and see a passed away loved one, you could see an angel. You could see all of the dimensions. You could see the other side itself. You could see everything. And if I really said that you could do that tonight, and I could show you how, would that not be something that you'd want to do over anything else?
Obviously, obviously, yeah, that'd be pretty sick. I mean, listen, I'm autistic. Over anything else. I mean, within limitations, but I would really want to do that. Yes, I would, very much so.
You can though. That's the thing. Even tonight you could do it.
Oh, I get the analogy you're making, where most people, they require permission almost, right? They require someone saying you can do this in order for that domino to fall. And I think one of the things I'm learning about you, Darius, is, and I think where people talk about this repetition, is it's so important to be that figure of belief to topple that first domino. And belief and intent are so crucial. My belief and intent are rigid, right? But what I see so much in people is doubt, right? And it's sad when someone can do weeks of work and get so close to these. And again, I'm sorry, I'm a nerd, but it's like in a game where you've got an XP bar, right? And the XP bar fills up, you're level 2, level 3. But when doubt comes in, you knock yourself back from level 9 to level 1, right? People don't feel like they're worth investing the time in. Society crushes people down. And that's what we've got to try and help people push through, right? Is getting past these programmings that we've all been subjected to.
Yeah, we do. A lot of people do. Like it's something that I didn't share here, but something I did as I held an in-person event. I'm holding another one in December. It's 99% locked in now. And in that in-person event, the impossible was being done. Quite literally was, it's we had an individual doing exactly what I said, putting something there, and it was floating right between his hands. People's eyes starting to change from a blue, like someone had brown eyes, sort of hazel eyes, and started to turn blue on the outside due to the resonance of frequency.
Interesting.
We had a kid there that had glasses, and through knowing that it's possible, was able to see further than he ever has before without those glasses. We had my logos. The right hand stands for truth, integrity, love. So we went to a waterfall. No one was in the water. Some lady took a photo. No one was in the water. And again, this is something that you have to be there to witness. A right hand was sticking out of the water. And this is where, when you step into the resonance of frequencies within groups, you bridge the very spirit world into the physical, and you start doing the impossible. I had a handful of people hit sleep paralysis for the first time, people coming out of the body for the first time too. They're hitting that state. And belief is so important, because once you believe it, everything that they've told us is impossible, none of it is impossible. Not one damn thing is impossible. Like this is what I was talking about before. Like, even everything that we think of logical, we have to be logical here. It has to make sense, common sense in this. And yeah, I need logic to this. And like you have to take that within yourself, put it through a paper shredder. That's what you have to do, because it's like, it's for some people, for instance, how do you see a golden, or not a golden hand, but how do you see a hand come out of the water like that? Well, logically, people would go, okay, that's this, it could be that, it could be this, disbelief. And before you know it, the spirit world, you cut it off. And when you cut it off, then you no longer could see. And then you wonder why. Why isn't this happening for me? Why isn't people communicating with me? Why can't I see truth? Why can't I access truth? Give me a meditation to do it. Well, I can't give you anything, because as soon as I give it to you, even though it's like you could say a golden plate with golden food on it, all you'll say is, well, that's not gold, nor is it. No, it's not at all. I don't see it as such, because your belief in it is already programming your disbelief, even when it's presented to you, that you'll never see it.
Do you know what's crazy? See, that entire mindset that you're talking about, a little voice incessantly burned into me from about the age of 10. Okay. And there's so many things that you've spoken about that little voices have burned into me. Like, I don't know why I learned some of the things, or some of the things that I used to think as a kid. Like, it's just really odd. It all makes sense now, right? But can I ask you? I've got a friend who had ocean blue eyes, and she has started going through another chapter of her journey, and her eyes have changed to really, really dark green, with like almost what look like little suns around her irises. And is there like a color that goes with a frequency, or a color that goes with a shift, or is there any meaning behind the color shift, or is it just all as fascinating, and is it just random, or is there any connection to the colors? Really
I don't know the connection to the colors.
Sure.
But what I do know is that when the eyes change, it's the same thing. The windows, or the The eyes are the windows to the soul. So when a person shifts dramatically, you'll start to see changes. Like you'll even see it physically too. Like people that shift dramatically their life within themselves. Split personalities is a good concept too. You'll see the shift even within certain appearances. So
Okay.
it's just the only way that I could explain it as well is it's almost as if, let's just say spiritually, because I don't know what happened with her, but let's just say spiritually, when someone begins to awaken, sometimes, not all the time, that resonance of frequency will make the eyes start to change of the soul eyes.
I think you nailed it. I think again, it's weird because you're saying stuff, and then I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff that is what you're saying,
Confirming.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
confirmation.
So yeah, you nailed it with the window of the soul. I get now, without you explaining it, I get what it is you're talking about. So that's another piece of the puzzle. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I'm kind of to say to everyone, I'm really sorry that the last two interviews have just turned into Ron on a universal mission using his guests as like ways of checking stuff off. But
Well, I
it's
mean, if there's any comments, because I know we're live. If you want to,
oh yeah, absolutely. Anyone that's got any questions, get them in and let me know. But Darius, let me just ask you, right? Because your entire everything you do is it's an incredible journey you've been on, right? But I often ask people who, I mean, the majority of people they don't choose the path they're on, right? They're kind of thrown into it. And what's been the biggest hurdle for you over the last few years? Like on this entire mission, and I feel like there's a thorn in your side.
uh, the the biggest hurdle is reach. Yeah, that's it. So, you know, I did agree to this before even I entered this place, but then forgot and then got remembered, and
Yeah,
then
that's a better way of putting it. Yeah, that's a better way of
yeah,
putting it.
and then agreed again to do it, thinking that that was the first time that I agreed to do it.
Yeah. That's how I'll
Yeah,
explain that from now on, by the way. So when everyone hears me explain that the next time, definitely you heard it here first, because
yeah,
that's of course, yeah, that of course that's what we all mean, right?
yeah. And it's one even before coming here, I knew that this was my last time here. Two, I was supposed to come earlier. I remember that very clearly. I said, no, not yet. Oh, no, not yet, not yet.
Why do you say it's your last time here, Darius? Why did you just say that?
Because that's what I know. That's what I remember.
'Cause
I
that's what
remember
I
saying that
know.
as
'Cause that's what I know, Darius.
hmm,
Okay,
the,
because I
so
don't feel like
last time I met.
yeah, I don't feel like I've went to heaven at all ever. I feel like I'm on version one of my soul, and it has
Mhm.
been gathering whatever bloody information it's wanting me to remember now, and I feel like this is the one because it's time for me. It's fucking weird that you said that. Like it's
Mm.
weird that you said that because
Yeah,
that's how I
it,
feel, right?
yeah. Well, it is, man. That's an absolute. It's not a coming back to do this over or try to do this or try to do that. That's just last time. So, and like I said, I knew that before I came here, and I even said that as I was a child. This is my last time here. Last time here, and I remember, I remember not even wanting to be here because I was there was a for instance, people in my life now are older than me because I was supposed to come in at the same time that they came in, and so even though they're from across the world here or there, I knew as soon as I saw them, there you are, found you,
Mm.
found you. Now let's pursue the work. You see, and it's the thorn is making sure that reach is done effectively. And also how you reach that is gradually, even if it's in small groups, is by showing people the everything that they think is impossible is possible. And the people are already experiencing that. Like I'm being serious with what I'm saying. People are experiencing
Oh,
that.
trust me.
Yeah.
Just keep talking about bringing people together and showing them stuff. Just keep talking about that.
Yeah. So once you end up doing that, then that helps the reach, because then they start saying, look at this, look what I could do. And then they start demonstrating those things to other people as well. And that is a thorn. It's like, okay, you know, not wasting time with individuals that already have the door shut. And then basically showing people that want to open that door, and then they walk through it and they see all of it.
All right.
And then they may be connected with the people that have the door shut. And then they will go like, wait a second, I thought that this was crazy. And then they will open up their door and pushing it through. So it's the pursuit of the mission, man. It's I've said this before. It's the only reason why I'm here, and the only reason why I agreed to come here and still am here, because I'm not having a child in this life. There's no child, never going to happen.
Mate, I filled your quota. I've had 7, mate. I filled your quota fine, bro. Okay, anyone up there ever questions that? Ron said he put 2 out for Darius, okay? No problem, mate. I got your quota covered, brother. Got that quota covered, mate. So, yeah, carry on, bro. I just want to say that the reason I asked you to keep talking, right, is Danny Henderson, right? Because you can't help people unless you talk about these things, right? And I'm like you, right? The thing that we spoke about beforehand. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm using what I'm doing to try and chase clout on the internet. I could quite happily, if I could push a button and let the whole world secretly know what I can do, so that nothing ever has to be said online, and my reward is the people I'm helping. Okay, that would be so sick. That would be so sick. Do you know what I'm saying? But you have to talk about it, right? You have to go, this is what I know. This is the truth. This is what I can do. Otherwise, you can do nothing, right?
100%. I mean, this because this is where people are. You see, so that this is a place to reach in this forum. This is what people do. Back in the day, they weren't using
you and I would be burnt, son. That's where we'd be back in the day. We'd be tied to a post, bro. That's where we'd be. Okay, let's be honest. All right. While they're nailing up their freaking posters, they're Darius and Ron roasting at midday, bro. Okay, you came back at a good time. If you'd missed this, if you came back 500 years ago, short mission, bro. Short mission. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. No. It's more what was it? I would say 50. I was supposed to come in 50 years before, well, the time that about 50 or 60, around that time.
Yeah, you nailed the timing. You nailed it, bro. Like economically, socially, everything. You nailed it. Because yeah, man, like you could have missed. You see, if you came in at the dark ages, that would have sucked. Do you know what I mean? I would have sucked real. I would have sucked a lot, bro. So
well, it's almost like, it's back in the 70s.
It's divine timing, Darius.
Yeah, it is. It's all timing, because back in the 70s too. Like, it's just like
I was just going to say, even if we took your mindset and dropped you in 30, 40 years ago, it ain't landing, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the timing is biblical the right word? Cosmic is probably not a word. Like, it's one of those things. You know what I'm saying? It really is.
It is, man. And it's like even the whole past too. Like people forget the past of what this place was. And I brought this up many times, but they honestly forget that all of the beings that I talk about were once here. And they forget the fairies. And the moment I say fairies, automatically people go, "Oh, he's one of those." But they forget
The
those
fairies are
entities.
my boys, Darius. I just want to point that out right now. Right. So,
Yeah.
oh God, I freaking love you, Darius, bro. I'm telling you, like, just in case no one's told you today, I freaking love you, man. Like you, like is anyway. Please, I'm gonna mute myself. So even if I talk, I don't interrupt you.
Yeah, but they forget those entities. They forget the dragon races, think that they're just the things that were written about in text, and that's the end of them. But they forget about those races, especially the ones that were very intelligent too. They forget about the elves. They forget about the creatures or even trees that we used to have. They forget about all of the races of beings, including ones that look like dogs, ones that look like werewolves, for instance. All that genetic makeup, which is still inside of some people too, you know, where people have all this hair on their face still. It's still coming from that genetic line of the past. In that Anubis, in that era, what they depicted the dog person to look like.
Yeah.
They forget all of these beings, but I remember that from the past. I remember it from the past, and it's a lot of people think that human is just what this, but there was there's so much more to us, the giants, everything. Um, and even though we don't necessarily see them now, some of them are here still. Like we still have these entities here,
I agree, 100%.
and it's all part of the great revealing, great unfolding. You even have now, if I'm not stating the timing of this, but I believe Fox News recently posted something about extraterrestrials too.
Bro, like,
Uh,
listen,
yeah,
like, I'm assuming you genuinely live in the middle of nowhere in a hut, okay? Because
yeah, I
like,
am in the
trust
middle
me,
of
we're
nowhere.
waiting on the government releasing certain files, and they're refusing to. They've given us the
Mhm.
UFO files, 2 of them, bro, and I mean, mad. And now they're apparently gonna give us the alien files, okay? Because there's a whole
Okay,
other bunch of
perfect.
files they're refusing to give us. So, yeah, talk about
Yeah.
that. You're nailing it. You're yeah, 100%.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. I am disconnected from the world in a lot of ways.
No,
So
no way, Darius. No way. Okay, you totally seem like the kind of guy that's going to turn off his interview, go and sit on his lazy boy in front of his 40-inch chair, okay, and wire into Fox News right enough, mate. Okay, trust me, we get your vibe. Okay, get your vibe, bro.
but
Oh God. Okay, right. Okay, we're good.
y'all good. All
Okay.
right. um, they're going to release everything, man. Absolutely. And like if it's already happening, what you said with Fox News, and that stuff's coming out, then
Oh yeah.
again, it's all the races, and everything's going to start being revealed.
Hmm.
You know, I don't necessarily know how they would do it, but I think it's just going to come out. This has been here for a long time. This race has been here this entire time. They may start with human races, the hybrid races, etc. May start with those. I'm more leaning towards the ones that look exactly like us that already work within certain facilities and agencies and government institutions.
Yeah,
Like
I
that's
mean,
that's 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 where I'm leaning at the first, because then where that leads to is um all of the biblical type scenarios too of those entities, of the revealing of, well, where are the beings that built the pyramids, what did they
mhm.
look like, what are the hybrid races, what do they look like, and we call them this or that, but even angel, this is all coming down to, at the end of it, it's all coming down to what I was telling you about before. The 12 heavens open up, everything is revealed to all people. Like it's all leading to that. Now
And
when
you
the
see
races
film.
are revealed, they have to, when races are revealed, the question is gonna be like, right, we're not alone. Some people will be like, I knew that we weren't alone. But then at some point it has to come from, where did you come from? Where, and they'll say you came from this star system or this or whatever NASA says. They came from this. But then what is actually that system? And then it'll have to be also revealed that it's part of a different kingdom in heaven within this creation. That this is their section within this creation, you know. And then all that will slowly start to come out. Has to in the technology, like I said before, take a look at Star Trek. Somebody brought this up to me, replicators on Star Trek, that they can replicate food. They put a program, it gives them, it cooks them
Yeah.
up a
Oh
meal
yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
I'm with you.
that technology is real. It's like these types of advanced technology is already, is a real thing, because they're accessing the infinite zero point through technology. But then, you see, some beings even have the capability to access that within themselves. And like I said, doing the impossible again. You know, so yeah, all of it's going to come out. Every last bit of it's going to come out. I have no doubt, because it's like I was telling you before. I've been showing this. It's showing the reveal of this, and it's all happening as what I was showing. Some things are slightly off in terms of
Jesus.
this, the secret, like in terms of, I thought, for instance, the I thought it should have happened back in 2014, like certain things. So it's like,
Okay.
in terms of like the delay of things slightly off, like that's off by a long shot, but it's still, the sequence of events still gonna hit and play out. But my thing, when I back in 2014, I'm sitting there, I'm like, we were, my abilities were turning on so profoundly in that time frame in Morocco too. We started to see, because it was stepping out of that disbelief. We're in a group setting again. Listen to what I'm saying with this, because this is very important. The shooting stars, how we perceive shooting stars way up in the sky, they were only about 3 meters above my head. We were watching. Three of us saw this. It went right past the house where you had, looked like shooting stars. We're like, oh, there's a shooting star, and it came very low, about 3 meters above the head, right over us, and like a whole bunch of them just started going. It's because at that time, this is part of opening. It was opening up the bridge, between here and there, and that connection to the spirit world, the heavens, the kingdoms. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is it. This is where we start to go into things, because a lot of foreclosures were happening back in that time that people don't realize, that was actually the reason why we are where we are right now with the foreclosure, what's happening with Trump on a lot of things, in terms of exposing this or exposing that, or other things being exposed with that. This is always a corporation. There were certain documents released back in 2014, which was foreclosing the very corporations based off the eternal essence of I am. Now, I'm not going to go into that, because that then leads into somewhere else where I don't want to be held responsible for something, but I'll just leave it there. But it started to, the thing is, we the signature of the soul, when it remembers what it is,
Okay.
and it starts to put that into the, let's just say, the Xbox, the construct. It's like the your it's like the antivirus, or whatever. It's the anti. It's the code that disrupts the other bullshit that's going on. And so back in 2014, there was a lot of things happening that so many people were unaware
Okay.
of the straw man from the uh, how the Vatican, as well, certain institutions, were trying to make you step out of your soul authority, and a lot of things are being rewritten back into those institutions. What you're getting the implosion effect now. And now that's not to say that, oh, I'm responsible for it. No, what I'm just saying, a whole bunch of people were all involved in this, and we we are seeing the effects from 2012, 2014 to now, to this whole thing starting to implode on itself or explode. So it should have all happened back then, because a lot of people were turning on certain abilities and gifts. So there was a lot of things. For instance, there's an individual that was supposed to be here in this time, and there's many of them that were supposed to be in this time that actually died in the pursuit of trying to pull this off and doing things. But he was supposed to be here at the time of all of this, and we all thought that it was happening back then, but it's actually happening now, in that aspect, of the exposure of all the control structures. And a lot of people thought that we were so crazy back then. A lot of the things that I was speaking about back then, you say, yeah.
It's got anything to do with the Higgs boson?
No.
Oh, nothing at all, right? No.
I'm not going to bring it up because
no, that's fine. Oh yeah, you said that. Sorry. Yeah. Give me 1 second, everybody. Literally, I have no sensation left in my butt.
Yeah, all good.
So we're going to go to everyone's questions just when you're ready, Darius, because I don't want to, because we never got to many questions last time. I don't want to anger everybody, but I also am aware that we've already gone 20 minutes over the hour. So as long as you've got time, I'm happy to fire some questions.
Yeah. You're all right. I'll just finish this briefly though, and
please
and then
do.
pull out some questions. But it's just know that a lot of things that were being done that behind the scenes, or a lot of things that people were participating in. We all know who you are. You know that I'm speaking to you, even though you're probably not present. But a lot of people were doing things that were public. Some of them weren't public. All behind the scenes, trying to spread out of the, you could say, the truth of who we are, even from the other side itself. And all of you guys that have done that, even though you don't want to be known, it's that effect back from those years is happening now, because that energy signature was imprinted back then, but it was also imprinted when you imprinted yourself into this creation. And with that energy frequency, that resonance, it's actually happening at the present where we are right now. And even though some people have died in the pursuit of that, and some people that were supposed to be here, they still are watching the very thing that's taking place. I've seen it myself, but it leads to, as I said, the revealing of all truth, which is who you actually are, what you actually are capable of. You will become what people call the impossible in physical form. That's sort of what all of this alludes to, because your ability to tap into the all-knowing of everything, the frequency of everything, the whole entire light spectrum to see all things will open up first within yourself, and then you'll begin doing those things. Because all of this from the very beginning was all corporation fictitious, man-made constructs, man-made beliefs, trying to seal you into disbelief, and also a corporate structure, a dead entity. And you trying to take you always away from that, siphoning your energy into these dead entities, these dead things that are all around us. And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking.
And with that, they have, I said you can never entrap the soul, and you can't. But what they've done is they entrapped your will, your will.
Mm-hmm.
What? Yeah,
and in turn, your belief.
100%, 100%. And then they access they created an artificial 0 point through currency, and then enslaved you within the physical body to work for this artificial currency, to
Yep.
constantly put you into this state of suffering, of lack of, when you are the one that inherits everything. The very presence of yourself here already grants you access to all that is.
Uh-huh.
All that is. And when they then take you from birth, which is creating you could say two of yourself, they then take an aspect of yourself, making you believe that you're part of this thing. It's like McDonald's, for instance. And at McDonald's, they have employees and they wear their suit. Could you imagine for a moment McDonald's walking up to your house, knocking on your door, saying, well, you didn't clock into work today, or you didn't do this, or you didn't follow our policy? You would actually go to the McDonald's saying, listen, I've signed no contract with you. I've done none of that. You can't, I don't care what you guys do inside the McDonald factory. I don't care what you do, because your policies do not apply to me, the living man, within my living essence of where I am. And so this is what they've done. They've taken all of these legislations, they've taken all of these fictitious laws and legislations and try to place it over God itself. They try to place it. You see, the thing is, there's no court that stands above the soul. There's no legislation that stands above God. And there's no corporation that will ever supersede eternal truth of all things. And so the courts have tried to step over the soul through always placing you in this fictitious reality that they made. You could call it the Matrix. Corporations and everything have all tried to stand above that essence. And they can't necessarily do it, but they can manipulate you due to hatred, fear, then to lower yourself into where they rule the land. But anyways, man.
No.
Let's get to questions.
No. Oh, yeah, like we're just going to skip over it. I'm not going to respond. You know I'm going to respond, Darius. Okay? You know I'm going to respond. But
okay.
You just done it again. I get, because it's weird how much I completely get to the letter what you're saying. And it is rooted in my, like, what I know to be true. Okay? Can't understand why, but it's not because you're saying it. I've felt what you've just explained for decades. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's now I'm hearing it being spoken in a way that doesn't sound like me giving Star Wars analogies so that people can actually, like, anyway, I fully get it, man. And yeah, we're going to go with some questions. And
yeah, cool. I mean, there's so many different ways to explain it. But that's just the way to make people comprehend of, you know, even like the Vatican in certain institutions and what have you are always trying to make you under and inside of these control mechanisms all the time, but because they can never surpass eternal truth of all things. And this is all they've tried to do. You see, we are from the divine, we are from the other side. And when we come into this physical body, that's what we are. And all of a sudden, they want to give you a birth certificate. They want to stamp you with this. They want to put this. It's like putting a stamp on your forehead saying now you are certified, owned by the corporation of whatever.
Oh, well,
and now you have to obey by the legislations and this or that or the policies of McDonald's.
Yeah, I hear you.
But you weren't born from the McDonald's factory.
Oh, I hear you.
You were born from there. And that is the authority. And when you step into that, you become the living man, the living woman, the living I am of all things here. And then when they ask you, who are you? What is your name? I am what I am. I am. Because when they try to place a name on you, you automatically are stepping out of the very source of where you came from, which is the eternal essence of all things.
I get it. And we're going to go with your questions now. But man, this has been another one of those nights, Darius. This has been another one of those nights, bro. Okay, Darius. Also, as well, that's the only time I feel like we know each other well enough now that next time you say a word and it comes out as manifest, I'm going to pull you up about it. Okay, I'm going to bust your chops. Okay, everyone gets one, Darius. Everyone gets one. Does Darius see different realities, or are we able to go and check them out?
Do I see different realities? Yeah, I do. I do. It's I see different time events taking place. You know, just last night. This is last night. I was out of my body viewing time, and I was seeing someone that's going to come to my house, and he'll probably watch us too. And I'm going to tell you, so you're going to come to my house, and I know exactly what you're going to do. I'll write it down on a piece of paper, and I'll stick it on the table, exactly what you're going to do. And then you'll see this video. That paper will be there, and you'll play that out. So potential time I see all the time of strong realities to take place. And when that happens, you're stepping into, you could say, different realities. I've been to different heavens, total of 12. I've stated this from the first to the foundation of earth, to the second to the celestial heaven, to the third to the golden heaven, to the fourth to the Eden, from the fifth to the cathedral heaven, to the sixth to the in between, from the seventh to the angels, to the eighth to the seraphim, from the ninth to the throne of God, to the 10th to Atlas, to the 11th, which is where you could say connects to a certain star, which gives you access to certain beings, and then the 12th and the 13th being the container. Like, I've seen the heavens within the entirety of this construct, what you could call an Xbox game. Yeah.
What could, when you say because I was really interested that you threw in the 13th at the end there, because you mentioned the 12 heavens. And again, I realize I've only done one question side chat before you start that. So when you said the 12 heavens, I was going to ask you, is Earth the 13th heaven, or is that in the 12? And then you mentioned that there was a 13th. Is there any significance to the 13th heaven, or the container, shall we say? Is there any significance to that in any way, shape, or form?
Well, yeah, but I'll just say it's a containing force that contains all things here. Yeah.
So, do we know what's beyond that?
Yeah, that's
Is that another podcast? Is that episode 3?
No. Give me a second. I'm gonna turn off my camera. I'll show you. Give me a second.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Everyone, please make sure that you're liking. Oh my God, liking and subscribing. Make sure you push this out. What can we say about these interviews with Darius? They're just mind blowing. I'm just getting caught up with everyone in the side chat here. I have got questions saved. I am doing my best. Okay. I'm not really. I'm all over the place, but that's fine.
Yeah. So
let me take this off the screen.
Come on. So as soon as you come out from the 13th, and you're outside of this, all these 12 heavens, it looks like this.
Okay, sick.
Yeah. So you could say this is the entire construct that we're in. You could say that's the Xbox, and inside of here holds all of the different kingdoms and heavens within here. Total of 12.
Is that human orientated heavens? And is there other places that, I mean, this is going to sound so crazy because I don't know how to word it, right? Is there other little everythings beyond that? Are we the only everything, or are there other everythings?
No. There's so within here, you say that's the center of that's the center of where we are, which contains everything that I'm talking about, all of the templates, all of what we consider angels, gods, giants, etc., are all within these different sections of heavens, and sometimes within here. Now, each one of these heavens have 13 kingdoms, just like imagine Earth having 13 different countries. The Earth would be the heaven, And then
Yep.
then the 13 countries would be the kingdoms. So each heaven has a total of 13 kingdoms, which you get the lineage and lines from certain heavens. It comes from this line. It comes from, some people call it, it comes from the line of God, or it comes from the line of the seraphim, or comes from whatever is based on these kingdoms. Now, even when you're outside of here entirely, you have, let's just say what you said before.
Mhm.
So what you said was, okay, well, what exists outside of here? Well, you
Mhm.
could say you, the soul, there, and you could step into many. That's another creation. That's another creation.
Sick.
There are many different
That's exactly it.
creations on the other side.
Wicked. That's it.
Many,
That's
many different creations.
wicked.
Yeah.
Could now in our creation, let's just argue that big one was our creation, right? Are
Mhm.
all alternate timelines and versions of our creation within that one freaking container? There we go. Inside that one container, or would the things beyond that container be different versions of our reality? Or is our reality and all versions of it contained within our container? I'm sorry if that was a long-winded one.
No, no, no,
Sorry.
no. I think I get what you're saying, but the we within here, the best way that I could explain it to you based off that question, the best way I could say it, within here, things are, I've realized very, very quickly that things are pre-written,
Okay.
meaning it's impossible to change them. Like, follow this through to the very ending and you'll see what I'm talking about. There are certain things that are pre-written. People say things aren't pre-written, the future is forever changing. And I'm here to tell you that it's not forever changing, that things are already preset in the very creation of this time event to happen, that no matter what path you choose, you're going to hit the damn brick wall and hit that
Yep.
event. Okay,
Yep.
now it's, let's just say that image. Okay, so that image is the construct of what I showed, and then let's just say this is a CD. This is called Minecraft, and it's a disk. I'm gonna put it in that console. So you already know the story is already pre-written on Minecraft.
Okay.
That
Yep.
what you place in it, that storyline is already preset. Now you could go off traveling to this place or that place or that place, but the story, the characters are already preset of what's actually going to happen. So you think that you're progressing through the future, but you're actually progressing through the past of that which has already been done and already preset, no matter
Uh-huh.
what decision you
Uh-huh.
choose. Yeah. And
Yeah.
all of this, what I showed you, that creation, all of this was already preset as a game template, and it's already being fulfilled. It was fulfilled in the last, you could say, from the last reset or whatever. There's distortions playing out now, but it's already pre-written that this is freedom for everybody. Everybody remembers. And certain beings remember the agreement, certain beings don't, but it's already preset and the stage is already set for the for everything that's already going to be fulfilled, pretty much, or happen, because
Okay.
it's, yeah. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
uh, uh-huh. It's almost like what you're saying is if you there's a preordained destiny, right? That may or
Mhm.
may not care too much about whether or not you have a latte or an orange juice at Starbucks. It doesn't make a difference. You're going to hit where you should be, regardless of how you try and avoid it, right?
100%.
Also, the Minecraft analogy, I felt like your brain was like, how can I bring this down for this guy to understand? And you nailed it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. I see what you're doing.
And
So,
it's like, think about the servers, like they have different servers in games.
mhm,
So basically, let's just call, even to even break this down further for people, let's just call the Minecraft game the
mhm,
construct,
yep.
and that you have all these servers, and let's say we have 13 servers that you could join.
Mhm,
You have heaven one, the foundation here, which is the first server that you could join. You have the second server, celestial heaven, the third server, the golden heaven. And these are all just different servers within the game
I'm with
that
you.
are all preset. But the thing is that all of these, follow this through, because this is very important for people to understand the concept. All of these servers were once all open for you to access all of the heavens. It's like walking in one of the Minecraft things where they have those portals, where then
Yeah,
you walk through a portal to enter a different room or a different server.
with the
This is why
password
the
protected them now,
doorways, yeah,
bro. The
but this is
password.
why some of those original doors with inside of the temples, with inside of the old structures, they were certain portals to access different servers, to access different heavens, where you could
Yeah.
walk and traverse the whole creation of this place. And it's these things are still, some of them are still activated, still online. But the
Mhm.
thing is, they will all become, everything will be available to everybody at the end of the freedom point. You're not going to have money to need to do this or that or whatever you may think. All the suffering pain ends, you know, and then you get to access the multiverse of the Minecraft game again.
Mhm. Oh, I'm with you. Interesting. I'm sorry to jump ahead in people's questions, but this one just appeared, and I feel obligated to ask this. What
Mhm.
is? Please talk about original pairs. I have no idea what that means. So, if you know what that is, Darius, let us know. Have any idea what that is?
Uh, yeah. So a a original pairing is similar to this. So you mm,
Thinking
imagine
back
for
to
a
earlier
moment
today.
you had an experience with another soul on the other side through countless different experiences. Let's just say if your soul only experienced 100 different experiences, your original pair would maybe have experienced 80 of them with you. So it's someone that
Mhm.
you really click to, you bond to. This doesn't always mean a partner, a sexual partner. Sometimes a pairing, or original pair, is not what you think it is. Sometimes they come in different age groups, from you being younger, someone else being older, vice versa, or same pairings of soul. An original pair is a pairing, a union of souls of shared values through creation of things that you've done for a very long time. You could say families, soul families, is a pairing, is a pairing.
And that
You
was the
know,
last piece of the puzzle, Darius. That was the reason why I was compelled to ask you that. That was another really, really, really reassuring and check. Thank you, Darius. Okay. Hello, Darius. How can I feel peace and happiness? No big deal. Just a simple one there for you, Darius.
okay, let's just go to the core of it. How do I feel peace and happiness? So your pursuit of trying to feel it is always you're never going to feel it. It's like asking the question, um, how
Like
do I feel
chasing
peace?
a bag in the wind.
There you go. There you go. It's how do you feel peace and happiness? It has to come. You got to stop searching. Like even stop searching for love, because your search for love already means that you're not love, and therefore it's an endless search. It's like the chronic healer. The chronic healer is that person that has nothing wrong with it, and then he goes on a spiritual trend or whatever, and then before you know it, he needs to cleanse his chakras, he needs to eat quinoa, and then this and that, and then it turns into, and then it's a chronic healer, and then he always self manifests things to heal within himself. So when you're searching in the, like, really, I need to find peace and happiness, well, really what you're going to do is you're going to find everything that is not peace and happiness, because you're trying to grab something that is of water, and that water is something that you already are. And the moment that you stop trying so hard, you just become it. It's that authentic self, because your
Is,
authentic self doesn't try to be peace and happiness. It already just is when you just allow yourself to be yourself.
is it almost like by acknowledging your lack of something you desire, you're manifesting your inability to get it because of your pre disbelief in deserving it almost, right? Is that kind
Yeah,
of right?
yeah, yeah. It goes back even to the water. Your worth and how you feel program the water. You know, but it's the pursuit of finding happiness. Like, it's so damn easy just by saying, I'm not going to pursue that. I'm just going to be myself, and automatically you become happy just by
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that.
Do you know what? It also ties back to the freaking Danny Henderson vibe of love yourself and everyone will love you. It's so freaking true. Like if you feel like you're missing love, just learn to love yourself. And I
Hmm.
guarantee you other people will see that and they'll be like, he seems like a swell chap. That's all I'm saying. If that is what is on your mind. But it's true, right? Love
Or,
yourself and
or some people may deny you, but then you don't take that offensively because they're merely just saying, for instance, if you are being your authentic self
yeah,
and that makes someone uncomfortable, it's because they're uncomfortable with themselves in a way
every
because
day of
it's
my
like
life, Darius.
it's
Every day of my
like
life, bro. Every day.
like think about it. It's like the hippie, for instance. Like the hippie idea that people have where that individual loses themselves and they just don't care about anything anymore. And so when then somebody that's putting on 1,000 cubic meters of makeup on their face and doing all of these things, getting fake implants of boobs and the list goes on, and they're trying to superficial it's a superficial means of trying to for validation in that way.
Yeah.
um and then they come face to face, let's just say with the hippie that just, I don't care about appearance, come that
No.
makes them uncomfortable because it's like, oh my god, that's what I'm afraid of becoming. I'm afraid of being the just not caring anymore.
Yeah.
Because if I don't care anymore, then people won't love me. People won't accept me. And then they just constantly put all this on themselves all the
Mhm.
time of denying themselves the greatest power that they have, which is simply just being themselves and not caring what people think.
Yeah, well, sadly, sometimes that can be a curse, Darius. Okay, because sometimes, as I've been told, I can be too much myself. Okay, so I'm with you, and I fully endorse what you're saying. That's you spot on. Okay, how do
Yeah.
we find the next path in our spiritual journey when we are open and wanting, but don't know where the door is? Sorry, let me read that back like an adult reading it and not a 5-year-old. How do we find the next path in our spiritual journey when we are open and wanting, but we can't find where the door is, Darius?
Go back to that meditation that I said before. What would you do back? Or what would you say and what would you do if the source of all things said to you nothing matters? That's the
Oh,
that's where you're gonna find that door.
yeah. I'm fully with you with that. Right, here we go. Past lives. Past lives. Is it possible for past lives to have the same blueprint as the current one, yet different location, body, etc.? So very familiar with that. So basically, do we walk the same path in various lives? I think I would imagine what that boils down to.
Uh, Sometimes, yeah, yeah, we do. Some people as well. They look almost identical to 80% identical to what they've looked like through all of their lifetimes. I have that. I've seen my past lifetimes. I've seen what I am on the other side, like what I look like, and I look the exact same as what I look now. And this is to even give you proof of this too, to even validate what I'm saying. Well, I can't give you proof, but to validate what I'm saying is 16. Celeste showed me who I was at what I look like in the future. Now I thought it was somebody else.
Okay.
And then you
Right.
see,
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you.
I thought it was somebody else. And I was like, who's that? I was like, oh my God, that's, and then all of a sudden I look at myself in the mirror, bam, that memory. She was showing me myself. Now,
Yeah.
even when I come out of body, I look the same. I have a very similar appearance. Now, some souls, when they come in, they keep that appearance. And this is why some souls, not all of them, but some souls will wait based off certain genetics of parents to come in to reproduce that same who you are type of
I'm
deal.
with. Oh no, I'm with you. Okay, my brain went off on a side quest there because let me ask you something. If
Mhm.
let's say, for example, Palladian, a Nord, hundreds of years ago, decided to stay here, right? And all of our people left and they died here. Okay. And again, Darius, we're getting out of the box here questions now. Okay. Do you think that the soul of the being who passed here would remain here and then transition into another vessel? So what I'm saying is, if another life form was here, it passed away, do you think that life form could take the husk of a human and have another life here?
So basically, by attaching themselves to a fully living being as well as
Effectively, yeah. Because
uh,
when we were talking about the I've already forgotten what the hell it was called.
no, it's good. It's good. In that way, not based off what I've seen.
Okay.
What I know, no, based off what I've seen, but what I do know is that some. Let's just play that hypothetical.
Okay.
Is that I know that some souls are in Antarctica. I've seen this very clearly. That some beings put their bodies in stasis and project themselves into a child that was being born, for instance,
Mhm.
and coming in that way, but still with their original body. And then sometimes people may get this bleed through of themselves sleeping somewhere.
I'm going to hit you with a
Or
curveball, Darius. It's coming.
okay.
Okay. What if we introduce unbreakable love into the equation? What if we had an off-world being and an on-world being that somehow connected their souls? They battled the darkness, whatever we want to insert to romanticize this here. Do you feel like those two could be the the twin people that that person referenced earlier, or does it have to be a human soul for you to have that connection through many lifetimes? And there's a specific reason I'm asking you this. This is
Mhm.
part Sam. This is part of why I'm deep in the
So,
research.
so yeah, so basically what you're asking is do they both have to be physically present as well? Is that
Well, yeah, I would think so. I would think in the analogy that I'm trying to
Mhm.
put forward is I think a lot of people they have dimensional beings. In my head, I'm talking about a physical
Mhm.
like off-worlder, effectively coming here,
Yeah.
staying here, bonding with a human, right? And the two of them passing over, dying naturally, and their souls, their energy, their everything. And I'll tell you something else. I'll be specific about the Palladians and
Mhm.
how they are guardians of this love energy in some
Okay.
allegedly. Would that have an impact on it? Because I'm on a weird journey right now, and this is a question I'm trying to get answered. Okay, because I feel like
Well,
there's somebody here who isn't from here, but the body they're in is from here. That's what I feel.
yeah, that you're asking, yeah, that could happen in pairings too. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's if for instance too, it's why some people search their entire life trying to look for an original pair
Mm.
and they can't find it here because that person's not here.
You're a
But then
smart man. If anyone, I
but
just want you to know, you're a smart
the,
man. In case no one's told you today, Darius, smart man.
that's not necessarily smart, dude.
Like you're answering so many questions. My head has been so deep in
Yeah.
print offs and
But
books and like PDFs online trying to get answers on exactly what I've just asked you.
but
Like,
no, but I'm gonna give a concept to this,
please
what
do.
I'm
Please
saying.
do.
Like I was
Please
gonna, but it's because some of them aren't here, and you'll find this with near death experiences. So near death experiencers, they'll end up dying, and then they access a love for an individual there that is so profound. You would say that's original pair. It's like, oh, that's eh, there's probably one story that I remember where a female died and then sorry, no, a male died, and then he went to his life review. After his life review, then he was presented with this lady, this woman, and he knew instantly that that is the woman that he was trying to search for his entire life here, but she was there the entire time, that original pair,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
And again, we've got to understand the magnitude of the algorithm of how many lifetimes it takes for an original pair to be reproduced for that pair to re-find each other, right? That's kind of what you're saying, yeah? Like in some cases, the DNA of the parents, it all has to kind of match up as close to the original as possible.
sometimes, not all
Sometimes,
the time.
no, not all the
Yeah.
time. No, not all the time, but
Well,
sometimes.
for instance, like I'll give you a concept.
Sure do that.
Souls could come in any form that they desire, in terms of they say they're in another, they look differently from lifetime to lifetime, and you'll have some kids that say, I picked you this time, because that child, we all know these stories, the child says, I picked you, because that child already knows that he picked that parent to try to come through, to look a certain, like or connected to a soul family
Yeah.
or what have you.
Sure.
But
I just had visions of one of my children saying that to me, and that being known as the creepy child for a while. Okay, because I've got wonderfully gifted children. Okay,
yeah.
but my eldest, man, when she was growing up, like there was a couple of moments where I was like, wow, I mean, it's profound. I can bust her chops about it. I know exactly what was happening, but she stood in the hall as a little girl saying the word Maisie, which was my dead godmother, and obviously standing and holding her hand in the hallway. And, my whole life, that's normal. But do you know
Mhm.
what, bro? It's crazy how unnormal that is for a lot of people. And I mean, we're talking full on cliche. Don't talk about it. If we don't talk about it, it's not real. I don't really think that's how it works. It's still
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
But it fascinates me because I was raised very much, it's all normal. Just talk to them. Just, from a paranormal point of view, should we just say?
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much that really built the foundation for my belief and intent with everything.
Mm.
So how crucial is it, right, that we try and not terrify our children away from these things? And what's the balance, do you think?
Uh, don't lie to them.
Yeah.
And all right, the greatest fear a child has is something that could touch them still. So they're still accessing the information, like they're in tune with it, and hence why your you know your kid could bring up the name
Mhm.
of what she said, or some say, I picked you, or what have you. The greatest thing that I think is nurture that, but then also maybe say to them that if they don't believe in themselves, say that, just let you know that nothing could ever touch you. All you have to do is, if something scary happens or whatever, just call my name and my soul will come to you. And people do this with Jesus, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah,
But
I'm
it's
with
like
you.
putting that type of knowing into them, so that they could keep on developing their skills without fear. Because even with developing and seeing things, they're going to end up doing things of what happened to me as a child, where I'm seeing certain beings, seeing certain entities that I thought were totally real, and some of them were. A lot of them actually were, but some of these negative things that I was seeing, I thought that they were real, in the sense of that they were actually conscious souls.
I could touch you.
That's what I'm talking about. But
That's
I
what I'm saying.
realized that some of it was thought forms from myself
Mhm.
and from other people in the house at the time. And because their thought forms are still physical manifestations, and I was seeing that, I was terrified, And so, but if I knew as a kid that not one damn thing could touch me, then I would be playing with these things like toys. You see what I mean? That
I
would be
know
the flip.
bro. I don't get what you mean. I've lived what you mean. Like I have lived what you mean from as long as I can remember to when I realized that lucid dreaming it null and voids all of these nighttime coming, nightmare fueling, man in the hat, gangly shadow bastards, right? And once I realized that, it was done. It was over. Even when I was helping that little kid, right? The entity, I pulled the big, you'll hear it on the Danny Henderson video, but I pulled the big nasty into my little realm. And I felt him when he realized there was no fear in me. It was like, I don't know what I felt from him, but it was a lot like disappointment, Darius, because he was done when he realized there was no fear in me. I mean, done to the point where it felt like I was punching a cheeseburger. That's how equal the fight felt, you know? So I get it, bro.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. We're getting our question, mate.
Okay.
We do this one past like we did that one. Okay. How much time? Are you okay for time? You
got I got I could stay on for 30 more minutes. That's it.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. Jeez. We can do it. Okay. Darius, how can I come to Australia from New Zealand ASAP ready on the golden plate of the soul? My plate on a golden soul attention to learn from you. I have the knowledge. I think we've got a fan here. I think this is a fan right here. Looking forward to coming and seeing you in Australia, it would seem.
The plan for December. That's
okay.
what I'm planning for. Yeah.
Awesome. I want to be honest with you. I feel like there's going to be an event you plan next year. And that's the one I'm going to be at.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm about to go on a weird, is it a pilgrimage? Is that when you go and see a whole bunch, like if it's a computer game, right? I'm going to go and see like all the elite characters on a quest, right? And that's going to be the final quest before the big quest. Do you know what I'm saying? Like by being in a room, yourself, Danny, Nikki, all of the people that are the puzzle gifter, the puzzle gifters, the ones that are handing me the pieces of the puzzle and going, here you go, pal, stick that in your puzzle, wallop, and it fits, right? I feel like at the end of that is when I'm going to take my final boss form, right? And I can't wait for it, bro. I can't wait. I don't know what the being in the room thing has any reference to do with anything, but I feel like that's going to be once we get to the end of that pilgrimage journey, it's going to get real serious for the forces of evil. I'll tell you that. So, okay, hang on. Here we go. Darius, have you ever run into demons when outside of the body?
Demon looking things. Yeah, I have. Very, very nefarious looking things that I thought could touch me and do all these things to me. And, you know, I realized that nothing could touch or entrap your soul unless you believe it to be so.
Yeah.
And so, and I know that a lot of these demons, what people call demons, are actually sometimes attached to thought forms from another soul. And so, what you may think to do is hate it, kick it, whatever. But actually what I do is I just send love to it, because I know that when I do that, if it's not of my thought, that frequency resonance sends it right back to the very source, which the soul that even thought it into existence itself. And I literally just got a ding on my phone as I said that. So there you go. That's the answer.
Freaking fascinating, dude. You really are. Is the age of Aquarius, which is coming, going to free us all? There's endless laws and taxes purposely put in place to keep us all enslaved.
Hold on. Give me 1 sec, man.
Yeah, of course.
We got 10 minutes.
Bro, listen, you've been super generous. Like we're like,
go ahead.
So don't worry. All of the questions that I'd saved, I have asked. I'm sure there was more. So I am sorry.
Ask that one. I'll do as quick as I can. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The 13 gods that created this construct, are they 13 races? Like, did they create human race in each other's images? That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that because Yeah, let's
Okay,
pass on
that's
that.
okay. Okay, right. Okay, I'm with you because of the time.
Yeah,
All right, all
yeah,
right. I'm
because
with
I
you.
have to go into the
How do you get to know what your purpose? As I get thoughts and go for it, but I need to know my goal. Hang on. How do you get to know what your purpose? As I get thoughts and go for it, I need to know my goal. I don't really get what you're saying because
you're I know what he's saying. The goal in life always is finding love. So you find this love, and your goal could be to be a musician. You're being a musician because you love music. So every goal in life, the pursuit should always be one of love, one that something that you love doing or want to pursue. If money was no object, that's how you find your goal in life. I think that's going to answer it. But yeah.
yeah, I think when you get to Australia, Kelly's going to hunt you down, bro. All right, I don't know if you've been paid to the side chat, but she is a super fan. Okay, she is coming to meet you. I'm just saying. Right, where are we? Last week we go. Does sending back work? When we send back, I would imagine negativity or telling the
Yeah.
nasties to leave.
Yeah, just you just have to command your space, really. Like and just knowing of who you are. Like like for instance, God itself, the source of all things, unconditional love. He's not sitting there going, "Oh, something's coming after me, this boogeyman. I command you to go back." Or it just doesn't. It can't even
It's
penetrate that
belief and
field of
intent
energy.
again, Darius,
Can't
right?
even
It's
penetrate. Yeah.
it's belief and intent again, isn't it? It's
Mm.
it's people's inner doubt when it comes to sending it back, right? Whereas
It just
you're
can't
all
touch you.
it,
It
it-
can't touch you.
right. Jesus, I'm knocking things over. All right, see if we can get to, okay, here we go. Why won't aliens tell the government to give everyone $1 their own? Look at it. Okay, let's whittle this down, right? So why don't the aliens step in and like give us the freaking cancer coffin curing things and like the renewable energy? Like what are they holding back on?
I'm just going to answer this way. The system's so rigged and so designed that when money exists, you're always going to have. Listen to the statement. As long as money exists, you're always going to have people that have and have not. The reason why I say this, let's go into Bill Gates. How much does he have? $1 billion or something like that? Or he has?
At least
Yeah, he has billions of dollars. Now, did you know if he sent in even Elon Musk and other figures that have billions of dollars, if they've literally taken all their money out and given everybody that money, it would collapse the system
yeah, they
because
probably
it can't operate. It can't. So everything's based off scarcity, and that scarcity is this very system that we're in to keep you in the state of fear, scarcity, survival. So with the way that things are set up, let's just say if I gave everybody $1 million, even though you are the millionaire, automatically a piece of bread would be $1 million. Or like the
I'm with you.
money is the problem. It really is in this current system that we have,
I feel
because
like
there's always going to be this poor and rich in this certain system unless it flips to resources and freedom for everybody. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's
100%.
yeah, people are it's just I'm paying attention to the study, but I agree with you. And hang on a second, let me just tidy up some
Like
stuff here.
with the current system, there's always going to be poor people, and it's not necessarily like it's like, just understand that that's the way that this thing is set up. Um, th- the controlling system of this place. But the thing is, they want you to think exactly what I said, that you're poor. But when you have nothing, you're the greatest threat, because when you have nothing, you also have everything at the same time. The
Yeah,
rich have everything, but guess what? They're afraid of losing every damn thing. Makes them controllable, makes them weak. not a threat, unless they use that same power to then do good. Then they become a threat. You know?
I hear you. I hear you. Well, listen, is there anything, Darius, you want to tell the people as we wrap up the show? Is there anything that you, is there anything you want to tell us? Anything at all? Anything you got going on? Just hit us with it before we wind down, brother.
No, I don't. I'm just focusing on doing more in persons and getting in, awakening certain things physically, or where people could actually see proof of concept. You know, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm focused on. And
anything we can ever do to assist with that, mate, let Sarah know. We're always here to do anything we can to help you with all you're doing. It's just incredible. Every time we talk is just awesome. And I just want to say thank you so much for giving up your time. It's over 2 hours tonight, brother. I really can't thank you enough. And it's been a great conversation. I'm sure it's been sometimes frustrating. By interviewing can be very much like a one-directed conversation. But it's been a fantastic night, Darius, and I can't thank you enough for giving up your time for me. I really can't.
Yeah, no problem, man. That's it's good. You're funny. You're a good person to
all over the place, man. Right. Well, listen, Darius, thank you. Thank you to the mod. Thank you to the admins. Big shout out to Sarah. I'm going to be going live over on my channel just shortly because we need to talk. So I'll see some of you over there. That's at Project ROOQ. Link is in the description. And I'll see you all in the next one. And Darius, thank you. We'll see you all soon.
Yep.
Peace.
All right. Catch you, man.